I haven't said this out loud before. My name is David. I'm 73 years old, and I need to tell you about the day I closed a door that I should have left open. It was February 1989. Cold enough that the windows in my apartment had frost on the inside corners. I was 21. Rachel was 19. We'd been together since high school, 4 years by then. Everyone called us permanent. Her mother used to joke that we'd been married since junior year. We just hadn't made it official yet. I can still see the apartment. Second floor. Green carpet that was already worn thin when I moved in. A couch we'd found on the curb and carried up together, laughing because it barely fit through the door. She'd bought these yellow curtains from a thrift store. I hated them. But they made her happy, so I never said anything. That morning she made eggs, scrambled, too much pepper like always. I was reading the sports section. She was talking about her sister's baby shower. I wasn't really listening, and then she said it. "I think we should take a break." I looked up. The fork was still in my hand. What? She didn't cry, that's what I remember most. She just sat there across from me at that tiny table, hands folded. She looked tired. "I just need to figure out who I am," she said. "Without us, just for a little while." I didn't understand. I got angry. I said things I wish I could pull back into my mouth. I told her she was being selfish. I told her that love wasn't about needing space, it was about staying. I told her that if she left, she shouldn't bother coming back. She stood up, put her plate in the sink, walked to the door. And I just sat there. She looked back once, hand on the doorknob. I could see her waiting for me to say something different, to ask her to stay, to tell her we could talk. I didn't. She left. I thought she'd come back in a few days, maybe a week. I thought it was dramatic. I thought she was testing me. She didn't come back. 2 weeks later, her roommate came by to pick up the rest of her things. A box of clothes, a hair dryer, the yellow curtains. I asked where Rachel was. She said Rachel didn't want to talk to me right now, that I'd made myself clear. I said fine. I threw the curtains away after she left. I'm not going to tell you that I spent years pining after her. I didn't. I was young. I was angry. I told myself I was better off, that she'd given up, that I'd dodged something. I dated other people. I got a better job. I moved to a better apartment with better carpet and no frost on the windows. I built a life that looked right from the outside. But I never stopped thinking about that moment, her hand on the door, the way she looked back. I saw her again in 1995, 6 years later. I was at a wedding, mutual friend from high school. She was there with someone, a guy named Tom, tall, looked like he coached Little League or something. He had his hand on her back when they walked in. She saw me across the room. She smiled, not big, just polite. We talked for maybe 3 minutes. She asked how I was. I said good. She said she was good too. She introduced me to Tom. I shook his hand. He seemed nice. That was it. I watched her dance with him later. He leaned down to say something in her ear and she laughed, really laughed, the kind of laugh that takes over your whole face. I left early. I got married in 1998. Her name was Karen. She was smart, funny. We had 2 kids, Sophie and Jake. We bought a house in the suburbs. I coached Jake's baseball team for 3 years. We went on vacations. We had family dinners. It was a good life. But Karen used to say I wasn't all there, that I'd drift off sometimes, even in the middle of a conversation. She'd ask me what I was thinking about and I'd say nothing. She stopped asking eventually. We divorced in 2014. No big fight, no infidelity, just distance. She said she felt like she'd been married to a ghost for 10 years. I didn't argue. Sophie doesn't talk to me much anymore. She's 30 now, married, lives in Oregon. We text on birthdays. She visited last Christmas, stayed 2 days. It felt like we were strangers being polite. Jake's better about it. He calls every couple of weeks, tells me about work. His girlfriend, he's good at filling silence, but I can hear it in his voice. The same thing Karen used to say. I'm not all here. 3 months ago, I was cleaning out the garage. I'd been putting it off for years. There were boxes I hadn't opened since the divorce, old tax documents, photos, a broken lamp Karen had wanted to fix and never did. And then I found it. A shoebox, taped shut. My handwriting on the side, apartment stuff 1989. I almost threw it away, but I opened it. Inside, a lease agreement. A receipt from a pizza place that doesn't exist anymore. A keychain with a plastic dolphin on it that Rachel had won at a carnival. And a letter, folded, my name on the front, her handwriting. I sat down on the concrete floor. My hands were shaking. The letter was dated March 3rd, 1989, 2 weeks after she left. I'd never seen it before. I unfolded it. The paper was thin, fragile, like it might disintegrate if I held it too tight. It said, David, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't know if you'll even open it. But I need to say it anyway. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I was terrified that I didn't know who I was without you. We've been together since we were kids. I don't know what I like, what I want, what I'm good at. I only know what we are. And I thought, maybe if I could just have a little time to figure that out, we could come back to each other stronger, as whole people. Not just two halves that don't work alone. But the way you looked at me when I said I needed space. It felt like you were saying I wasn't allowed to be scared. That I wasn't allowed to not have all the answers. I know you're angry. I understand. But I hope one day you'll understand that I wasn't leaving you. I was trying to find myself so I could come back and really choose you. I love you. I'll always love you. Rachel. I sat there for 20 minutes, just staring at the words. She'd been trying to save us, and I'd made it impossible. I don't know how the letter ended up in that box. I don't remember ever seeing it. Maybe it was in the pile of things her roommate picked up. Maybe it got mixed in with my stuff. Maybe I saw it back then and I was too angry to read it. I don't know, but I never opened it. For 33 years, that letter sat in a box in my garage, and I built a whole life on the belief that she'd given up on me. I thought about reaching out. I looked her up online. Found her on Facebook. She still lives in the same state. She's married to Tom. They have 3 kids, grandkids now. She looks happy. There's a photo from last summer, her and Tom on a porch somewhere holding hands. She's wearing a yellow sweater. I stared at that photo for a long time. I didn't send a message. What would I even say? Hey, I found your letter 33 years later. Turns out I was wrong about everything. Sorry I ruined your life. She moved on. She built something real. And I have no right to walk into that and unload my regret just to make myself feel better. This isn't her burden to carry. It's mine. I think about the door a lot. The way she stood there, waiting. I think about how different everything could have been if I just said, okay, I'm scared too. But let's figure it out together. If I'd asked her what she needed, if I'd listened instead of defended, if I'd seen her fear instead of only my own, but I didn't. I made it about me. About my pride, about being right. And I lost her, not because she left, because I let her go. I used to think the worst part was losing Rachel, but it's not. The worst part is realizing I did the same thing with Karen, with Sophie, with everyone I've ever loved. The moment they needed something I didn't understand, I shut down. I defended. I made them wrong for feeling what they felt. I turned every ask for closeness into a fight about loyalty. And I wonder now how many people have stood at a door, waiting for me to say something different. How many times I chose my pride over their presence. Sophie called me last week. Out of nowhere. She said she and her husband are thinking about having kids, and she's scared. She doesn't know if she's ready, doesn't know if she'll be a good mom. And I could hear it in her voice. She was asking me to tell her it's okay to be scared, that it doesn't mean she's failing. I wanted to say the right thing. I wanted to tell her I understood. That I was scared too when she was born. That fear doesn't mean you're not ready, it just means you care, but I froze. I said, "You'll figure it out, you always do." And she said, "Yeah, okay." I should go. We hung up. I called her back 10 minutes later. I told her I was sorry, that I didn't say what I meant. That I was scared too, all the time. And I never told anyone because I thought I had to have the answers. I told her that being scared doesn't make her weak. It makes her human. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "Thanks, Dad." Her voice cracked a little. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. I don't know how much time I have left. I'm 73. My health is fine mostly, but you start counting differently at this age. You stop thinking in years. You start thinking in seasons, in visits, in phone calls. And I look at the life I've lived, and I see all the doors. All the moments when someone I loved tried to show me who they were, and I turned it into a test of whether they loved me enough. I see Rachel at the door, Karen saying she felt alone, Sophie telling me she needed space in college and me taking it personally. Jake asking if I was proud of him and me saying of course without stopping to really look at him. I thought love was about not leaving. I thought it was about loyalty, commitment, staying no matter what. And those things matter, but they're not the whole story, because love isn't just staying. It's staying *and listening. It's making space for the person you love to be afraid, to be confused, to need something you don't immediately understand, and not punishing them for it. It's saying, "I don't know what you need, but I want to learn." It's choosing them even when it means letting go of being right. I can't get the time back. I can't undo the doors I closed, but I can stop closing new ones. I can call Sophie and ask her how she's really feeling and not try to fix it. I can tell Jake I'm proud of him and mean it, out loud, specifically, so he knows. I can stop waiting for people to prove they won't leave before I let them in. I'm not telling you this because I figured it out. I'm telling you this because I didn't. Not in time, not when it mattered most. And if you're listening to this and there's someone in your life, someone who's asking for something you don't understand, someone who's standing at a door waiting, don't do what I did. Don't make them prove they love you by staying silent. Don't turn their fear into a test. Just ask them what they need. And listen, really listen. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. If you made it this far, thank you. I don't know if this helped. I don't even know if anyone's listening. But if you are, if you've ever stood at a door or watched someone you love walk toward one, maybe just think about it. That's all. Take care.